Hello everybody, this is Oksana Rudko and my brand of knitted bags La Accessory. And in this video masterclass we are going to make such a cool, stylish half circle bag. Its name is Florida and it was created inspired by this kit of leather accessories, so you can combine different colors. You can make it in one color or you can create a multicolored shoulder strap. The flap also has such an interesting shape and a bag lock which fits perfectly into the shape of this bag. And so we have such an interesting bag. Inside it is not ready. I'm going to sew the lining a bit later. So I have just finished making it. And so today we'll learn how to make such an interesting and complicated shape. You will learn how to make the creases right. And here we will not work with a perfect circle. Here you will learn how to be a little bit more creative. This bag is rather roomy. As you see, the side is 8 centimeters, so it allows you to put a lot in it. 20 centimeters is the width of the flap, and this is about 24-25 centimeters. Height is, now I will measure the height in the center. It is 22 centimeters, like this visually. So the bag is rather roomy, and you can put everything you need for day-to-day life in it. Also, we will attach such loops to which we will then attach our shoulder strap. The flap we are going to sew with such decorative braid to the back side of the bag. So as you see, the back part of this bag is like the front part. It is the same shape. And now I will show you the color of my next Florida, which I am going to make today, and accessories. So now I'm going to make it in such wonderful Tiffany color. I'm going to use this cord. We'll need 2 skeins. It's a polyethylene cord, 3 mm. It's flat, pay attention. It's from Cardi store. And what is interesting is that each cord has its own thickness, and orange was, for example, a little bit softer than this turquoise color, because when you work, I had such a situation when this cord, you will use it much more. So to use 2 skeins exactly, I will tell you how you can cheat a little bit so that you don't have to add the 3rd skein. So then we're going to use such flap. Texture is called float. And then loops, half rings, lobster clasps with shoulder strap in white color and with accented color of the loops. Then we're going to use some fabric for a lining. I'm going to use linen. It's also slightly darker than the flap, but it is okay. I think that it will look wonderful inside the bag. And of course you will need some cotton thread for sewing the lining and sewing it into the bag and sewing the free ends. So main tools for this bag are going to be the following. We will need crocheting hooks, 4 mm and 3.5 mm as an additional one. Then I'll tell you where we are going to use which one. Then we will need a lighter to burn the edges a little bit, a pair of scissors, some thread in matching color, both leather and cord. I have not quite the same. You should better take it same as color of the cord, because you're going to sew in the free ends and the bag lock. So this is the color that I have, but I think I'll buy one more closer to the color. I just wanted to show you. You'll need some screwdriver, measuring tape, some sewing pins when we're going to sew in the lining, and also some markers, maybe plastic darning needle with a big eye for sewing the pieces, and also our half rings. I'm going to use some glue. I'll tell you later. So any glue that you have, but I'll tell you everything step by step. So I think we will start with such two equal pieces for front and back parts. I'll show them in orange color. Now we are going to make them in turquoise color. For such a piece, you will need crocheting hook 4 millimeters. Of course, it depends on your gauge a lot, because whether you have tight or loose gauge, these pieces should be worked rather tight so that they keep the shape. So my gauge is somewhere in the middle. I think that you might work even tighter. And of course the width of the piece depends on how tight you work. So now I will measure these pieces approximately. So let's measure this one, for example, so that you know, approximately 24 centimeters in width. Here I measure it in the middle. Here 17 and half. If we measure it straight, approximately like the 17. So here from the corner to the corner, also 17. This is approximately. Your size might be slightly different, and it is okay. Half centimeter, even 1 centimeter. If it is much more, then you need to change either the crocheting hook or to work a little bit tighter. If it is too small, you can add one more row, but it depends whether you will have enough yarn. So now let's get started, and I will show everything step by step. We're going to work with increases, and here we are not going to follow the rule for the perfect circle. It's what I have changed in this design to get this shape, and I'll tell you everything step by step. So today we're going to use this wonderful color, aqua or turquoise. Now I'm looking for free ends, and let's get started. I'll show you a zoom in and explain every detail. Even if you are a beginner, you will be able to make this bag with this masterclass. So we take 4 millimeters crocheting hook, and we start our work with the 0 loop preparative stitch. We take the short end of the cord, put it on the long one, and grab it like this. Under the index finger, we put the longer one, and grab like this the loop. So we kind of hold the loop, insert the hook from below, grab the working thread, and so that it's easier to pull it through the loops. If you are just a beginner, you have to turn the hook with this hook from you, like this, not towards you, yeah, but from you, away. Tighten it slightly, and so you have your 0 loop, which you will start to work with. Then we need to cast on 5 chains plus 1 lifting chain. Do not cast on too loose, no, but on the other hand, do not cast on too tight, somewhere in the middle, like this. Grab the working thread, turn your hook, and 3, and 4, and 5, and 6. Do not count this knot. We start counting with the first one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 1 on the hook we do not count as well. And then we're going to work back and forth in the semicircle. So we will skip 1 from which this on the hook comes, yeah, so we do not work it, and insert the hook in the the next one, under the upper half loop. So this is our braid. We have upper half loops and lower half loops. Grab the working thread, pull it, pull the loop, do not tighten it, grab one more, and now work 2 together. This is a single crochet. And with these single crochets we're going to work in the round. So the second, insert the hook, pull it, and when you work you feel tension just in your working hand. All the rest shouldn't be tense. Grab the working thread and pull it. The third one, again insert the hook and make the stitch. And the fourth, insert the hook and make a stitch. So at this stage you will have 4 stitches, 4 single crochets. We count them by this braid, 1, 2, 3, 4. And don't count this one. Now the fifth, here we need to make 6 stitches, 6 single crochets. So I'll show you how. And now we're going to use markers. I recommend you to use them. You can work without them, of course, but I recommend you to work with markers, which will make your life much easier, especially for the beginners. You won't make any mistakes like this. First, under the upper half loop, pull the working thread. This one you make slightly longer. The one on the hook remains slightly shorter. And work these 2 together. This loop that you have now here, we mark with a marker. Mark it like this. 1. So 1 stitch in the 5th we have made. Then insert into the same opening. Here again 5 times more, insert the hook, pull the loop and make a stitch. 2, then again insert, pull, make a stitch. 3, this free end remains there, then kind of turn, insert the hook, pull it. 4, insert and pull. 5, and insert the hook. 6. So now you have 6 stitches. Mark the 6th one, this one. Mark it as well. And now you will know where you have started and finished this row, because here we are going to make increases, and so that you do not make a mistake, do not lose where you have started, this place just leave the markers there for the time being. And we need to make 4 more. So we made 4 on one side, 4 on the other side. Here we cannot see the half loops, but we have such crossed loops. Let's say 1, 2, 3, and the 3rd. third is here. You see these openings where you can insert the hook. And again, insert, pull the loop, make a stitch. Insert, pull the loop, and make a stitch. Insert, pull the loop, and make a stitch. So now let's count the stitches in total. You will have 14. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That's right. Lifting chain, turn your work, and now we're going to work according to the pattern. If you have some gaps here, don't worry, they will be covered because we have a very thick pattern. It's a preparative row that we are going to work each time before our pattern. Then we will have the pattern. Again, preparative row, and then again the pattern. So we alternate ordinary row and a row with a pattern. So row with a pattern. You need to insert the hook under the first braid here. If you look from this side, it is the space between the edge stitch, and the first. So we insert the hook. This loop which is on the hook should be tighter, not that long. Insert the hook under the braid, pull the loop, and now it is important to place our cord right. So make sure it's not twisted, then your pattern will look nice. So without working the thread, we come back down into this place where we're making this row or even one below it. Again, we grab the working thread, pull it, make sure it's not twisted, and the same height as these all are. Grab the working thread and work all the loops on the hook. This is our first pattern, first piece of the pattern. So find the next braid, and you have to control and make sure that you work rather tight. Grab the thread, make a loop, and without working the thread, we come back below here, grab the working thread, and make all three on the hook. Here you have to make sure that this loop is not that big. It should be tighter, slightly tighter than all the rest. And again, the next stitch. Grab the thread, pull the loop, go below, and again pull, make a stitch, and like this. So we have made 1, 2, 3 stitches, and the last fourth stitch before the marker, before the increase. At the level below, pull and make a stitch. So 4 stitches are ready. You can see them. Take the marker away, and we go on working in the round 6 stitches. First, under the braid, pull the loop, but stop, go below into this opening. In this opening, we are going to make all 6, that is, stitches. Here, pull slightly longer this stitch, work 3 together. Again, find the next stitch, grab the working thread, pull it, insert into the opening, grab and pull it and make a stitch. Then again insert, pull the loop from the next braid into this opening and pull the thread and work together. So here, be careful, here you have this free end. We need to hide it inside. So we will just attach it, first pull it under this loop, for example. It won't be visible at all because it will be covered with the stitches. And we continue. Pull the thread now into the opening. All three together. So then I'll show you how I untwist when the cord started twisting, and we have to do 2 stitches more. Insert, pull, work 3 together. And the last one, I'll take away the marker, insert, pull, and insert, pull, and 3 together. By the way, I haven't attached the marker back. Now I will show. So we insert the marker here where the stitch was, there's the last one, and then we count 6 back if you haven't inserted the marker like I did. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Into the 6, insert the marker. With markers it's just easier to work. Then insert under the next one and into the opening. Into the same opening where we made those stitches. Just like opposite. This one is short on the hook. Pull the working thread, again insert the hook, and work all 3 together. Again insert the hook, pull the loop, and work all 3 together. And again insert, pull, and the last here insert, pull, and work together. So you will get, as I have, 14 stitches. Yeah, we'll repeat 14 times. So make sure that you have 14. Let's count together, and then I recommend you to count on your own all the time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. This one on the hook we do not count. Now we make a lifting chain. We always make a lifting chain when we start a new row each time. So as you see, my yarn twisted. So what I do, I hold it like this and let it roll like this, and like this your cord will always be nice and straight. So just lift it in the air and let it unroll. So the second row is going to be 4 stitches, and here at this level we will make increases. We will make 2 stitches in each braid. So we'll have 6 increases in total. We already have 6, and it will be 12 in total. So find the first stitch, make here a single crochet. So here everything is simple, we just find an opening and make single crochets. So you see 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 4 single crochets. Now we will work increases. Here we will make 2 and return the marker back. 1 in the same opening, 2 to the same opening, and attach the marker to the first. Then in the next one, the stitches, they are here, yeah, so you can see this braids and make 2 single crochets in the same opening. And again, the next one and the second into the same opening. The next one, a single crochet and 1 single crochet into the same opening. And the next one, 1 and in the same opening, the second. So let's take the markers off, make 2, 1, 2. Return the marker back and make 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Check that you have at this stage 6 stitches more, that is 20 in total. If you count it, you'll get 20 stitches. And then make lifting chain, turn your work, and I'll show you how to work the pattern. Now, when you already have one more pattern under it, here it will be slightly peculiar. So the pattern, find the first stitch here, grab the working thread, and now be attentive. You insert the hook into this kind of V shape. I'll show you. Here it is, this V shape. It's a little bit in diagonal. So I insert the hook here into the center of this V shape here. Here it is slightly tighter at the edge. I'll show you how it will look from the other side, and you'll be able to find it really easily. On the other side. So insert the hook into the V shape, pierce it through, all this through, so that the loop into this opening, and it splits this stitch in 2. Here between 2 half loops, and on top also 1 more half loop. So make sure that your hook is inserted right. Grab the working thread, make sure it is straight, not twisted, and work all the stitches. So like this, we are going to work the pattern. Find the next stitch, grab the thread, make a loop, then again find the V shape, pierce it through, here, pierce it through so that the hook comes like the first one. On the other side, so grab the working thread, pull this loop nicely, 3 loops on the hook together, the second one, ready. Now the third one, here into this loop, where we insert the hook. Go one row lower. And work all three together. And the last fourth stitch before increases into the previous row. Like this. Pull this loop. So 4 stitches ready. Now we will take the marker off. And here, have a look. Here, we now be inserting into one opening each two stitches. First 2 into this one, next 2 into this one, these 2 into third, and so on. So each pair of stitches will be made into one opening. So we insert the hook under the first stitch and into the previous row. Here, and here likewise. And work 3 together. Now we insert the hook here into the next one, but we will make the long stitch into the same opening here, because we have made increases, and now for each stitch there we have 2 in our row now into the same opening where the previous one was. Here it is rather difficult to see it, but you can just count pairs of the stitches. If you open it like this, then you can see it better. They are just tightened a little bit. And so grab the working thread and now work all 3 together. So I attach the marker to the first pair. Now next pair we make into this opening, next 2 into this opening. Insert the hook, grab the working thread, find the next stitch in the previous row here, like this, and make a stitch into the next one, and into the same one make a stitch. Like this. Next pair, this one and this one will make into this, next 2 into this, and the next one into that, into the last one. So let's work this row together, and then you will repeat just the same. One, and the second in the same opening, here in the row below. Now next 2, 1, and then 2. And the next one. make a stitch. And then we have 2 more, which we work into this one. No, this was not right. Yeah, you have to check that you pierce it here. And the next stitch into the same opening. And also make sure that the stitch is not twisted, so the cord hasn't twisted. And the last pair, which we make into one, is this. This one here. And take the marker off and make a stitch into the same one. And here return the marker back. Here you will get 12. 1. And here 4 before the markers and 12 between. So here we make 4 more stitches. One. Here likewise. And the last stitch, it is really important, do not skip it. So we insert the hook under the braid, pull the working thread, and now we need to grab here, also kind of opening, we have it here, and one loop. Yeah, but here we have only one, or you can go here, for example, under this back half loop as well. Grab the working thread, pull it up, and make a loop. Make all 3 together. And check. You will get 20 stitches. That is our second row. The first one was this one, and that is already the second one. So we make a lifting chain and start the 3rd row. First, we make a row made of single crochets and then a row of pattern. So first, 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then at this point from marker till the marker we'll again have 6 increases, and we'll make them in every other stitch. I'll take away the marker and we make an increase 2 into 1. 1, 2. And return our marker. The next one we make 1. And now again 2. So we alternate 2 and 1, 2 and 1 into the same opening. Two stitches. Then 1 and again 2. and then 1, and again 2. One, 2, and 1. 2, and where the last marker is, 1. And return the marker. And make 4 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Lifting chain, turn our work, and now we make the pattern row. Here all the same. We insert the hook under the first braid, pull the loop, and then return into the previous row, into this opening. Like this. Then again, in the next one, insert, pull, work together. Again, insert, pull, and work together. Like this, we make 4 stitches. That's ready. So now here we will alternate the pattern as well as we did in the previous row with increases, but here we will have 1 stitch, then so we didn't have an increase, so then we'll have an increase, then 1, then an increase, and so on. Here where the marker is, we make 1 stitch under the upper braid and look for the nearest opening in the previous row. Here. Then we see that we had an increase. And so this one stitch and this one, they come into 1. Yeah, they were the increase. We see that they come together into 1 opening. So we will work them 2 into 1 opening in the previous row. So where we made an increase, we will make them into the same stitch of the previous row. So we make 1 and then the next one into the same opening of the previous row. And the same. And then we have 1. Then again we make 2 into 1 stitch of the previous row. So let's make this together and then you can move on your own. Here we make 1. And now, according to the pattern, we see that we make 2. So let's find this. opening and make 1 and a second into it. Ready? Then we will alternate 1 single crochet, like a long one, yeah, like this. Then 2 into 1, 1 or 2, and so we alternate till the marker. And we'll meet at the marker and continue together. So I have reached the marker. Here is the last stitch. I will make it together with you. Into the opening. Take the marker off. And make into the same. Return the marker. And then we make 4. Without any increases. In this row you will get 6 stitches more. That will be 26 stitches. And the last stitch we make here under the last braid, and here we also have this one. You see, it's really easy to skip this because it's difficult to see the stitch, so pay attention. You have to find it right there deep, and you can grab some additional half loop as well, like this one, for example. And lifting chain. Yeah, without lifting chain you have 26 stitches. And we start the 4th row. In the 4th row, likewise, we make first, then we make increases in every second. I'll show you. So here we make just 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, take the marker off, make 2 into 1, 1 and the second. To the first one I'll attach the marker. Then we make 2 single ones. So in the previous row we alternated in every other. Now we'll be making in every second. So we have 2 stitches, then an increase, 2 stitches, then an increase. So we make 2 single stitches, 1 and 1, and then an increase, 2 into 1. Into 1, that is into the one of the previous row. Again, 2 single ones, 1 and 1, and an increase, 2 into 1. One, 1, 2, and again you will get 6 increases. Again 1, and 1, and increase, 1, 2, again 1 and 1, and then 2. And again 1 and 1. Take the marker off. And then 4 single stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't make lifting chain. Let's count first. We will get 32 stitches. Let's count them together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32. 32 stitches. Then I make a lifting chain and turn my work. And then we are following the pattern. So we make 4 single crochets as always. And then we made 2 stitches, so we will make 2 single stitches here. 1 and the second. Return the marker back and 1 more. Try to work tightly, and you have to keep the same gauge with which you have started. Then we have 1, 2 into 1 stitch. Then we will make 2 single ones, and then again 2 into 1, and so we will be alternating. We'll work together, and then you can continue on your own. So we have already made 2 single ones. Now we make an increase, 2 into 1. 1, here just do not lose the count and count that you have 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1 single, and then 2 together. One and 1, and now 2. first and the second into the same opening. Again, one and the second. And so we move till the marker, and then we will meet. So now I have almost reached the marker. I have 2 stitches left into this last opening. One and 2. In this row, we will get also 32 stitches, same number as in the previous one. So make 4 like this. And the last stitch as well into this opening of the previous row, like this. And actually in this place you can attach it into any half loops, which is easy, just don't take a lot because it might go askew. And so like this you can already see the pattern. We have made already 4 rows and lifting chain. And we start the 5th row. Here I will pay your attention that here in this spot we will have 1 more increase. I will show you everything step by step. It's what I told you about, that it's not made according to the rule of the perfect circle. So in this pattern it doesn't work. Here we work rather visually. So I see that I need to make 1 more increase. And so we turn the work and start working 4 single crochets, take the marker off and make 2 into 1. That is our first increase. So we have marked the first stitch where we make increases, and if you see the increase in the previous row, here they were in every other stitch, in every 2 stitches. So now we will make 3 stitches between them. So we make an increase, then 1 stitch, 3. And after 3 we make again an increase. So we have 3 stitches between increases. And again we work 1, 2, 3 single crochets and an increase. And an increase. 1, 2, again 1, 2, 3, and an increase. 1, 2, and again 1, 2, 3, and an increase. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and increase. And so here, be attentive. Let's have a look how many increases we have on this side. You can see increases here. If you experience, you'll be able to see them. They look like this, like 2 stitches made into one, coming out of one stitch. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, 5, 6. And we also need to make the 7th increase. So we make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, take the markers off, 3, and then an increase. 1, 2. And I'll attach a marker to it at the 7th increase, so that here we have 3 stitches. So this is already the 5th row, the 5th row. 1, 2, 3. In total, we will have 39 stitches. So check, count, and check. Make a lifting chain and turn your work. And now we start working according to the pattern. These puffy stitches, we do absolutely the same as in previous. Here we work only 3 stitches. 1, 2, that's 1, 2, 3. Then this marker, which we attach to the increase, we make into this opening. So these 2 we will be working into 1. As you see, they come from 1, and so we work them 1, and return the marker back to the first stitch, so that you know where you have started this increase. And we make the second into the same opening in the previous row. So then in this row we make 3 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, and then again an increase. 1, 2, 3, and an increase. 2 into 1. 1, and 2. And so till the next marker we go on working like this. We make 3 single crochets, then an increase. Again 3 single crochets and then an increase. And then we will meet here and finish together. So last stitch here is going to be an increase before the marker, so we make 2 single crochets into one, and 4 single crochets. And the last stitch, here it is. And here, like this. So that's how this base looks when we have 5 rows ready. And here in the round you will already have 39 stitches. Count them and check. And we make a lifting chain and turn our work. In this 6th row we will make 7 increases. So we make 4 rows, 1 at the beginning, 2 and 3, 4, then take the marker off, we'll make an increase, 1, 2, and return the marker to the first stitch of the increase, and then we'll make increases in every 4 stitches, so you'll have 4 stitches between increases. You see, in each row we make it 1 more, 1 stitch more between the increases. Will be 3, 4. Okay, and we make an increase. 1, 2, and again make 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and an increase. 1, 2. And so like this we go on moving till the end. At the end we will meet. Here we are making 7th increase. I have made 6 already, so he will make 6. So I make 1, 2, 3, 4, and make an increase. 1, 2, take the marker off, and here 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, you can attach a marker to this increase to the last stitch. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and here into the fifth, we'll insert it into the increase. And at this stage, you will be 46 stitches. We'll have 46 stitches, and we make a chain and turn our work. So here we repeat all the same stitches of our pattern with long stitches. This is the 6th row. We'll make 4 single crochets, and take the marker off, 2 stitches into 1, that is an increase. Attach the marker to the first stitch of the increase, and then in every 4 stitches we make an increase. Make 4 single crochets. We'll start together, then you continue on your own. 1, 2, 3, 4, 'and an increase. And here an increase, 2 into 1. And so like this, go on working till the next marker, 4 single crochets and an increase. And now we continue till the end of the row. So here at the end, a last increase is made here into these 2 stitches and then into 1. Insert the hook, make a stitch, take the marker off for the time being, and 1 more stitch like this, and return the marker back. So 4 stitches, 4 single crochets, as always. One, 2, 3, and 4. Here you see it slightly into diagonal, but don't skip it, find it here one more half loop and make a stitch. So here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 46 stitches in total. Count them and check. And we start the 7th row. Make a chain, turn your work. In 7th row, we will make 7 increases. We make first 4 single crochets, then we make an increase, one, two, into one, attach a marker to the first one, and according to the same principle, I think you already noticed, here between increases we will have 5 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2. Then again 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make an increase. 1, 2, and then again 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and make an increase. So like this, go on working till the marker. 5 and an increase. And I have made 5 stitches, 5 single crochets. Now I have to make an increase. So here where the marker is, we make 1, and then 4 more single crochets. Check the number of stitches. In total you will have 53 stitches. Lifting chain, and now make our pattern stitches. According to the same pattern as previously, we will start working, then you'll work on your own. So here we make 4 single crochets till the marker, and then fourth, then this marker also marked 1 stitch, so we make it as 1 single crochet with a long stitch, yeah, the puffy stitch that is, and return the marker. But we have already finished, so here markers might be used, maybe without them. Then we make an increase. Like this, and 5 single crochets, 5 puffy stitches. So here everything goes according to the pattern. I think you have already remembered the sequence. So make sure that this piece is flat, maybe just a little bit rounded, but it should be flat. We're going to make wet heat processing for it, of course, before we sew things together. About this we'll talk a little bit later. If you have a wave, if it is wavy, then your gauge wasn't the same. So you started with one gauge, for example, and you proceeded with another. So it's better to try to work all the time with the same gauge. Like this. And an increase. So let's make it together and then you'll work on your own. One and the second here. And so like this, go on working till the marker, and then again we will meet and I'll show you how to make the last 8th row, which we will work with the same pattern, and then make the trimming. So the last increase here where the marker is. Four more stitches. Like this. And the last stitch here. In the 7th row, you will have 53 stitches. Check number in total. And so we have made 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows. And we have to make one more last row, and then we will start trimming. In the 8th row, we will skip this first increase, so we'll work without it, and we'll have to make 11 stitches till the first increase, and only after this we will start making increases according to the same principle. During our work I have already made lifting chain, and so we make 11 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is 11. And now we make an increase. 1 and the second. Here I would attach a marker so that I know where I started making these increases later. So now the increases are going to be in every 6. In the previous row it was 5. Here we will have 6 stitches between 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and an increase. 2 single crochets into 1. Then again 6 single crochets and an increase, and so till the end of this row. So I have finished this row. I want to make it together with you. Here I have 3 stitches till the marker. Make an increase. 1, 2. And here 1, 2. You can leave the marker just to be able to see. So, preparative row of single crochets in the 8th row is ready, and here we already have 59 stitches in total. You can check, and we make lifting chain, turn our work, and now work the pattern. We'll start together as always, and then you'll continue. 1, 2, 3, 4, then single crochets. Don't need the marker anymore. Take it away. So we'll make 2 single crochets and then an increase. Two, and make an increase. 1, 2, and so we repeat. After each 6 stitches, make an increase, so that you have 6 stitches between increases. Like this, go on working till the end of this row, and then we will meet and start making the trimming of this base piece. So we have made the last increase here. Exactly, it is here where the marker is. Like this. You can take the marker off. Actually, we already see where it is going to be. We see that 2 stitches in the previous row means that it is an increase here. And if we continued working, if I wanted to add rows to this bag, I would leave the markers here and make increases in next rows as well. But in this bag, it is the last row. Then we'll just make 2 rows of trimming. When you have finished this piece and you will get a much smaller size, you can add several rows more. We'll now measure the size, Or you can add one row, for example, according to the same principle as we did before. So if here we had 6 stitches between increases, then there you would have 7 stitches between increases, and so on. In each next row, one more stitch between increases. So you can always make the size of this bag bigger or smaller. Here we make just 11 single crochets. Like this. And so we finish the last stitch. Now, let's take our measuring tape and we measure from the center, like this, right in the center. I get 24 centimeters, maybe a little bit more than when I made the first orange bag. In orange bag, I had 24.5 together with the trimming. If you have approximately the same, it is okay. If you have 23, it will always be okay. But remember that you have a flap, and so the main thing here is to make sure that your flap fits. So you have to take the flap and make sure that the flap will be centered nicely, like this, because it has to be in the center. And then you can see whether the size of the bag is okay. Here I'm not going to make any more rows because I think that that's going to be too big for this flap exactly. I will just add 2 rows of trimming, which will add us additional volume. So we start trimming. And we make a lifting chain. And we'll be working in this direction. So here we do not have exact loops which we could use for work. We'll have to be creative. Yeah, so we will be looking for such half loops like this. Not under both half loops. Yeah, you do not grab all this thick piece. Just let's make this one. And make a stitch. So you need to find a half loop to which you can attach the next stitch. So the next is going to be here. And you can check when you are working like this, when you have worked several stitches, make sure that you do not make stitches too close one next to the other, that they do not make any waves, folds, and so that they are not too far from each other. So here you evaluate it visually, how you like it, whether it looks nice. Like this. I think I could use some more stitches and make it a little bit thicker, but perhaps that would be too much. So perhaps I will make little gaps between the stitches and I won't worry about it. So first of all, they will be under the flap, and secondly we'll have a trimming. So go on working like this, making trimming. We'll start together. And then we could work it here and then into the center. Here it looks slightly different because the edge is slightly different. So we'll be inserting a hook into these openings. And these stitches could be a little thicker, but try to make them more or less the same size as you have started. And here we also find the place for the hook to insert into Italy. And you see I have made 3. It's rather dense. But if I skip one, let's have a look what I'll get if I skip one. Let's give it a try. And we'll have a look at the option that you like better. Choose the one that suits your yarn better. Yeah, and here the openings are quite big, so perhaps no. But let's have a look. You also try, and maybe I'll skip one loop and do not skip other. You have to look at your work, at your yarn density, and decide which is going to be better for you. So, and here we go on working like this. You just need to make a nice trimming along the edge of this piece so that it looks more like complete work, like a finished piece. It's going to be under the flap, so don't worry about it. Nevertheless, we try to make everything nice, even if it is covered by a flap. Like this. Here we do not have a specially right straight edge. We do not have this exact number of stitches. Just make it visually nice. This line, which is the center, might be a little bit tilted to the left, and it is okay if you see that it is slightly shifted to the left. It is because of the pattern, so it is okay. It's not a mistake. And it is covered by flap. That's why it's not a problem. We're going to attach a backlog here and it will look perfect. So this line is not going to hinder anything. So don't worry about it. And then we need to start trimming along this edge, this piece. So how do we do it? Here we're going to make trimming with slip stitches. To make a nice transition, we can add one more stitch here, like in the edge, and then we could even skip and make slip stitches the following way. So you see this braid. You insert the hook under the upper half loop, like this. And without working this stitch, you at once insert the hook into this one, then the following. Again, you insert it under upper braid, upper half loop, pull the working thread, and now work it through the loop on the hook. These braids should be the same size as these, more or less. They don't have to be either too big or too small. Again, insert the hook, pull it through and through the loop on the hook. Insert the hook, pull it through and through the loop on the hook. Insert, pull and through the hook. And so like this, you will get a nice trimming. So like this we go on working along the semicircle. Here you don't have to count the rows or the stitches, I mean, so just come till the end and then I'll show you the second row of trimming and how we are going to make it, and our piece will be ready. So let's get started. So the trimming is ready. And then here we move the same. Just continue without anything. Likewise. Let's work this together. Here, make sure that your stitches aren't too tight, but we will of course make wet heat. To make it nice and straight. This we'll do a little later, after we have made it. Here you see I have such short loops because I was working quite dense. So now we have reached the corner, and here we work it this way, and this one we work as well. And then we need to make the second row of trimming. We'll work it into back half loops. Here, have a look. If you see this braid, then you see two half loops behind it. Pay attention, behind it. And so you grab this one and make a stitch. Likewise, just not into the upper half loop, but into back half loop. Two back half loops, that is. Next one, behind the braid, you have two back half loops. And look for the place where it would be easy to pierce it, and the next one. Here it's easier to insert the hook between these, yeah. And so like this. If it is difficult for you to pierce it through with number 4mm crochet hook, if you work densely, tightly, then you can use 3.5mm crochet hook, and you'll have no problems at all with trimming. You just need to pull the loops a little bit bigger with a smaller crochet hook. Like this. And so, like this, you continue the trimming. And you go on working till this point where we will meet. I'll show you how we cut the thread and finish this piece and start wet heat. Go on working like this. we'll meet in the next stage. And so we finish the trimming to here till the corner. Work it, and again here you have to finish at this so-called corner. I will finish exactly here, and I pull the working thread. You can cut it, leaving a small free end. Pull the loop like this. You need to leave a little bit. Don't make it too short. And then here is this loop above this one. So we insert the hook into the next one. We skip one and insert the hook in the next one and pull this one, pull the free end to the other side. Now we are making a false slip stitch. You need to make it the same size as all the other stitches. Here you'll have to insert the crocheting hook, but from the other side, and then return it back. And you will get such an edge, and then this free end, you can hide it, and make sure that you melt it, burn it slightly with lighter, because it might start fraying. As to the free ends, we do not hide them for the time being. We will be sewing them later at the very end, before we will be sewing in the lining, when we will be sure that everything is okay and we won't have to remake anything. So this is this first base piece. You have to make one more absolutely the same, and then make wet heat for both of them. I will show you how to make wet heat for one, and then we'll proceed to making sides. Now, how I do the wet heat? I put a towel onto some flat surface, ironing board or anything, turn it to the wrong side. I use a very thin cotton cloth. I have such a special one. It's really thin and it is natural, so it has to be cotton, 100% cotton. And now I press it with iron. I press this steam button so that my piece is wet. And then you take it and turn it to the right side. While it is a little bit wet, you can put it under something very heavy. I use encyclopedias, which are very heavy. You need to create a press, so you can put a cloth on it and then put something heavy on top, and then under this press it will dry and it will be able to work.